Okay, so let's talk about this. As a veteran, I will never vote Democrat ever again. They don't give a crap about our military. So that tells me that you're choosing to vote Republican, unless you're choosing to throw your vote away on the Green Party or the Libertarian Party or some write-in independent. I'm guessing that you're going to vote the opposite of Democrat, which is Republican, because you're a veteran and you want a party that cares about the military and veterans, right? The Senate passed a bill to help sick veterans, then 25 Republicans reversed course. The Senate finally was poised to pass a bill that would provide health care and benefits for millions of veterans injured by exposure to toxins from Agent Orange in Vietnam to burn pits in Iraq and Afghanistan. Instead, in a surprise move, 25 Republican senators blocked the measure on Wednesday, even though they had voted in favor of it just 1 month earlier. Before the PACT Act, 5 remarkable times Republicans voted against veterans. Yeah, I brought a whole bunch of receipts for this one, so pop some popcorn. In addition to the PACT Act, which is listed up here, we have 2017. Former President Donald Trump and congressional Republican leaders put forth budget proposals that would have done great damage to the economic security of veterans and their families, all to pay for tax cuts for millionaires and corporations. Here are the 2 other blogs, here and here, that list many more times when Trump, who called veterans suckers and losers, which we'll touch on later, treated them with disdain. In 2015, the GOP-controlled Senate voted down a bill to provide $1 billion over 5 years to provide jobs for unemployed veterans. The bill was fully funded and would not have added any additional money to the deficit. In 2014, Senate Republicans shot down one of the largest pieces of veterans legislation in recent history. The Comprehensive Veterans Health Benefits and Military Retirement Pay Restoration Act of 2014 would have repealed the military retiree cost of living adjustment reduction and would have protected veteran pensions and educational payments from future congressional budget fights. It would have also authorized the construction of more than 20 community-based outpatient clinics to serve veterans in rural and remote areas. In 2011, Republican Rand Paul and the House of Representatives attempted to end VA healthcare benefits for disabled veterans who are priority 7 and 8. This means veterans with conditions not recognized by the VA, like certain diseases from Agent Orange exposure, would have to pay for healthcare out of pocket if they did not have another service-connected disability. In the state of Wisconsin Senate Republicans and the state level voted against giving veterans the day off for Veterans Day. Not a single GOP senator votes to give veterans the day off. From April of this year, GOP revolts against bill to study cannabis to help veterans with pain and PTSD. A group of Senate Republicans Wednesday unexpectedly rejected efforts to advance a bipartisan bill that would direct the Veterans Affairs Department to carry out studies and clinical trials on the use of cannabis to treat veterans' chronic pain and PTSD. The vote on the procedural measure was 57 to 42, falling shy of the 60 needed to move forward. June 13th, 2023, House Republicans vote against life-saving abortions, pride flags at VA facilities. This happened while Donnie was down in court, by the way. While all eyes were on a federal courthouse in Miami this morning, House Republicans voted to prohibit offering life-saving abortion care to pregnant veterans, as well as to ban the pride flag from flying at Veterans Administration facilities. The vote came in the powerful Appropriations Committee, where 34 Republicans outvoted 27 Democrats in a party-line vote. Back in September, the Department of Veterans Affairs announced it would provide abortions to veterans and VA beneficiaries, the family members of veterans usually, if their life or health were jeopardized. Services that would be offered even at facilities in states where abortion is banned. In April, 6 months after the rule went into effect, the VA reported that 34 individuals had been treated under the policy. That was 34 too many abortions for Republicans on the Appropriations Committee, who inserted language blocking the VA rule into the military construction budget for fiscal year 2024. House Republicans vote to block VA from changing motto to include female veterans. The Republican-controlled House voted late Wednesday to block the Department of Veterans Affairs from updating its motto to include female veterans. The VA would not be able to modify or remove any display of the mission statement it adopted 64 years ago under an amendment passed as part of the annual VA spending bill. The motto refers only to male veterans and was based on a line in President Abraham Lincoln's second inaugural address: "To care for him who shall have borne the battle, and for his widow and his orphan." The new motto, chosen by the VA, hews closely to the original but acknowledges women who have served the country, as well as other surviving spouses and family members. To fulfill President Lincoln's promise to care for those who have served in our nation's military and for their families, caregivers, and survivors. That was a bridge too far for congressional Republicans. Then, of course, you have the Republican flag bearer himself and his views on people who serve his country. Trump: "Americans who died in war are losers and suckers." Of course, you remember what he said about John McCain not being a war hero because he was captured. Sick of using us as props. Veteran calls Trump's July 4th military-style celebration insanely inappropriate. Trump and aides on tape laugh about Niger ambush that left 4 U.S. soldiers dead. President Donald Trump drew laughs from some of his aides as he joked about what a rough business terrorism is while discussing an ambush in Niger that left 4 U.S. soldiers dead last year. This conversation was recorded by Amoroso, who was in the room. I don't know if you remember her. And then she played it. He's on tape saying this. They're all laughing while talking about these 4 dead soldiers. Posing as champion of veterans, Trump instead tried to stiff them. For months now, Donald Trump has been bragging to voters about the $1 million that he had personally donated to American veterans groups, part of an alleged $6 million that he claimed to have raised at a veterans rally back in January. But it's the oddest thing. Most of that money, especially that $1 million personal donation, never seemed to actually make it to the veterans. Only $2.4 million in donations from that rally could be tracked, leaving $3.6 million unaccountable. Shocker. And then, of course, you have Tommy Tuberville, who is single-handedly holding up military promotions. A Republican takes the military hostage over abortion. Senator Tommy Tuberville is wreaking havoc on our military and their families. He has no business stalling senior military promotions, include putting a hold on the Senate confirmation of the Marine Corps Commandant. His rationale is his opposition to the current Defense Department policy of paying for service members to travel for needed reproductive care, including abortion, if it's not available where they are stationed. Tuberville has held up more than 250 routine top-level military promotions because of his opposition to the Pentagon's abortion policies. As a result, the Marine Corps is currently without a confirmed leader for the first time in a century. So that's what you're going to vote for because you think Democrats don't give a fuck about veterans? Listen, Democrats haven't done what they need to do to stand up for the veterans either. I'll give you that both sides suck when it comes to the veterans. But are you honestly going to sit here and tell me that the Republicans are so star-spangled awesome for the veterans that they just earn your vote? That's just a sampling of what I could have put in a video. I could do that shit all day long when it comes to Republicans' disrespect for our troops.